All right, for this explainer, we are diving into one of the most incredible structures in your body. It's the single nerve that powers every smile, every tear, and even the way you taste your favorite food. We are talking about the facial nerve.
I mean, have you ever really stopped to think about what's going on behind the scenes when you laugh at a joke or get misty-eyed during a movie? It all feels so automatic, right? But it's actually all being orchestrated by one single incredible nerve.
And that, my friends, is the facial nerve. Or, if you want to get technical, it's cranial nerve number 7. It pops out from a part of your brainstem called the pons, and believe me, it is the absolute master of multitasking. Its two most famous jobs, controlling all the little muscles in your face and carrying those delicious taste signals from your tongue straight to your brain.
Now, its biggest job, its main claim to fame, is controlling your facial expressions. Seriously, this one nerve is how you can communicate an entire universe of emotions without ever saying a single word.
Okay, you ready? Let's try something right now. Wherever you are, go ahead and wrinkle your brow, like you're really concentrating on something. That movement? Yep, that's your facial nerve firing on all cylinders.
All right, good. Next up, give me a big, cheesy grin. Or even a snarl. Just show your teeth. You feel those muscles pulling back the corners of your mouth? Those are all under the direct command of this very same nerve.
And for the grand finale, puff out your cheeks like you're about to blow out 100 birthday candles. Holding that air in? That takes some pretty precise muscle control. And once again, you've got your facial nerve to thank for that.
So you're probably wondering, how does one nerve manage all of this? Well, it's smart. It doesn't work alone. Think of it like a commander sending out a team of highly trained specialists. After it leaves the skull, it splits into 5 main motor branches that spread all across your face. We've got the temporal, the zygomatic, the buccal, the mandibular, and the cervical.
Now, trying to remember all those names, that can be a little tricky. But don't worry, anatomists came up with a fantastic little mnemonic for it. The zebra bumped my car. See? The first letter of each word perfectly matches a branch, in order from the top of your face down. It's a super simple trick to keep them all straight.
But wait, there's more. Controlling your expressions is really just the beginning. The facial nerve is packed with other crucial functions that might actually surprise you. It is so much more than just a pretty face.
It has these 2 major secret jobs. First, it handles taste for the front part of your tongue. So that first hint of sweetness from a piece of chocolate, that's the facial nerve. But it also has this automatic role, what scientists call a parasympathetic function. This just means it controls stuff you don't even have to think about, like telling your glands when to make tears and saliva.
And to be specific, it's the boss of your lacrimal gland, that's what makes your tears, and both the submandibular and sublingual glands, which are your major saliva producers. So whether you're welling up at the end of a movie or your mouth is watering just thinking about dinner, yep, that's the facial nerve doing its thing.
And here's another surprise talent for you. The facial nerve is why you can blink in an instant. It's the action part of your blink reflex. When something, say a piece of dust, gets too close to your eye, a different nerve senses it, but it's the facial nerve that gets the emergency signal to slam the eyelid shut for protection. It's incredibly fast.
Okay, so we've established that this nerve does a ton of amazing things. But how does it even get to where it needs to go? Well, it takes a truly wild and complicated journey from deep inside your brain all the way to the surface of your face. You can really break its path down into 4 main stages. First, it starts its journey deep inside the brainstem. Then, it has to navigate this long, narrow, winding tunnel in your skull called the facial canal. And while it's in that tunnel, it sends off these really important little branches for taste and even one for a tiny muscle in your ear. And finally, it makes its grand exit from the skull and fans out to control all those muscles we talked about.
Now, because that path is so long and so complex, the facial nerve can unfortunately be a bit vulnerable to damage. So, what happens when that critical connection between your brain and your face gets lost or compromised?
Well, that kind of damage can lead to something called facial palsy, which is basically a weakness or even paralysis on one side of the face. One of the most common conditions that causes this is Bell's palsy, which doctors call idiopathic. And that's really just a fancy way of saying they don't know the exact cause, though it often seems to be linked to a viral infection.
Okay, now here is where things get really clever from a diagnostic standpoint. Think of the signal from your brain to your face like a 2-part relay race. If the problem is in the brain itself, that's the first part of the relay, it causes weakness on the opposite side of the face, but, and this is key, only the lower half. The forehead is strangely okay. But if the problem is in the nerve after it leaves the brain, the second part of the relay, then the entire half of the face on the same side as the damage is affected.
So that little detail, the ability to still wrinkle your forehead, isn't just a weird quirk. It's a massive clue for doctors. It tells them whether the problem is likely up high in the brain or somewhere further down the line along the nerve's path. It's a perfect example of how knowing your anatomy can help solve a clinical mystery.
So when you really step back and look at the whole picture, the facial nerve is this incredibly complex, absolutely vital structure, and it's working tirelessly behind the scenes for us every single day. It's a true unsung hero of our daily lives.
I mean, just think about its resume. In this one single nerve, you get the conductor for all of your emotions, a personal messenger for taste, the automatic regulator of tears and saliva, and a lightning-fast protector for your eye and even your ear. It's amazing.
It's really just a stunning piece of biological engineering. So, the next time you smile at someone or taste something incredible, maybe you'll just take a second and think about the amazing neurological highway that's making it all possible.